Three best bets are on the way for you guys today, Tuesday, September 6th, 2023. Let's get into it. This is the free three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get some bread together and make some money. Last night we had a very tough losses yesterday in Monday Night Football. We did cash it on Jalen Hurts over passing yards. Love to see that. We did lose on Puka Nacua over 5.5 receptions. He finished with 5 right there on the hook. I don't know what happened. Stafford was looking for him in the first half. He had like 3 receptions out the gate. Didn't get any more receptions until the last drive of the game. You hate to see that. And then we also lost on the Kenny Gainwell under rushing yards. Listen, I was not expecting that Eagles offense to run on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the way they did. Tall Bowles, he's normally known for his tough run defense. Well, you couldn't tell last night. So Kenny Gainwell just played a lot more than I was expecting him to play, and he still only finished with 43 yards on like 15 carries, so that was like 3 yards per carry. So it was a good read there. I'm not mad at the read. It was just really tough there. So I think I was happy with the reads that we had on all 3 of the plays, but just 2 very tough losses. That's really how it's been in the NFL over the past weekend. If you bet on the Ravens, if you bet on the Jaguars, if you bet on the Cowboys, you guys know what it's like. So that's why you have to understand it's a marathon and not a sprint. So keep your head focused, realign. Let's get after it today. You can see our year-to-date record right here. We just fell under 500 for the month of September, but I promise you we've got a few days left, so we're going to right that ship. We're going to get right. We're still over 500 on the year, so let's keep building and let's keep getting that momentum going. And if you can, drop a like on this video. I'd greatly appreciate it as we just continue to grow together. Now, for my first best bet of the day, I want to put this caveat out there real quickly. It's the end of the MLB season, right? Games are wrapping up. The season's wrapping up. Regular season is kind of nearing the close. There's about 6 or 7 games left for each team or so. So keep that in mind as you're starting to handicap as you head into the playoffs. Just about any sport. It doesn't matter if it's MLB, NBA, NFL. When you get towards playoff time, things will start changing, right? You got prospects playing. You got veterans not playing. You've got stars resting. You've got a lot of different things that happen with the lineup, so I highly encourage you guys to move cautiously. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't over leverage. You know, we got postseason playoffs coming up. There's no reason to go crazy in these final days of baseball, so just keep that in mind as you're handicapping these plays today, because when I look at this slate, I'm not going to lie to you, some of the value isn't there, some of the games I don't like, some of the situations I'm not a fan of, so I'm really just betting situations right now, going with the teams that have something to play for. So because of that, I'm going to go with the D-backs on the money line, minus 138 on FanDuel. You guys know I'm not a big fan of putting out a ton of juice out there for you all. This one is about minus 40 on certain books, minus 150 on certain books, so make sure you guys are shopping around. But I think this is just a matchup here where the D-backs have something to play for while the Chicago White Sox don't. The D-backs find themselves tied with the Cubs for the 2nd and 3rd final wild card spots, so they're only 1 game ahead of the Marlins and 2.5 games ahead of the Reds. So anything can happen at this point. If they drop 2 or 3 games in a row, they can see themselves on the outside looking in. So this is a must-win game for them against a White Sox team that's not only been eliminated from playoff contention, they're just not really good at all. Now, Zach Davies is on the mound for the D-backs, and I'm not a big fan of him. If you tap into the channel, I'm normally not putting out picks and plays from a guy who's got a 6.81 ERA, but he's been pitching better of late. He's gone back-to-back starts with 3 earned runs in each of those starts, and those games were against decent lineups. He played the Cubs in one of those games. He faced the Mets in the other game. So those are 2 lineups that have been hitting righties pretty well lately. So you love to see the fact that he's been able to kind of keep this score kind of low, especially when you got an ERA close to 7. He's been able to give up 3 earned runs in both of those starts. Not too bad there. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of Davies, especially on the road, but I dislike Jose Urena even more, who's the pitcher for the White Sox. And if you look at Urena's numbers, he's got a 7.27 ERA on the year, and he started 8 starts on the major league level this year, and that was both on the Rockies and the White Sox. And his teams in any of his starts, in all 8 starts, they have not won the game at all. 0-8 on the money line in games where Urena started. So because of that, it's not like the strongest trend in the world, but I'm going to continue to ride with that. I'm going to continue to go with that. Meanwhile, the D-backs on the other side are 4-1 on the money line in Davies' last 5 starts. So even though Davies does give up a lot of contact and a lot of runs, the D-backs have been able to give him the run support that he's needs to at least win the game on the money line. So again, it's not the strongest angle to go off of. It's enough for me to go with here with the D-backs on the money line. They have a lot to play for. They have to fight for that playoff spot. If they lose 1 or 2 games over the next week or in the final stretch of the season, they can find themselves out of the playoff hunt. You may want to take like the team total for the D-backs as well, over 4.5. I do like that. The overall game total is at 9.5 as well. I'm just going to go with the team with more incentive here, and that is the D-back. You're also going to find that there are going to be a lot of prospects playing, and the D-backs are probably going to be playing a lot of their healthy stars and players because of how close that wild card race is, which I like to see. And even if both of these starting pitchers are susceptible to giving up runs, the D-backs do have the better lineup of the two. The White Sox are god-awful. Their bullpen sucks. So because of that, let's just go with the D-backs to hold it down today to get this win in a very big spot in a tight wild card race against a weak White Sox team on the road. Give me the D-backs on the money line as my first best bet of the day. Now for my second best bet of the day, I'm going to a first 5 money line. I'm going to take the Rays on the first 5 minus 130 on points bet. And in this matchup, we have Zach Eflin on the mound versus Tanner Houck for the Red Sox. Now, Zach Eflin has been absolutely stellar for the Rays this year. 3.44 ERA on the year, and he's coming out back-to-back strong starts. He had one against the Angels where he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and 10 strikeouts in that matchup. And then he had another start before that against the red-hot Orioles, and he was able to keep them to 1 run, which like nobody's been able to do to the Orioles over the last month or so. And then which was really just one mistake pitch, which was hit out of the park, which was a home run, to go with 8 strikeouts, no walks over 7 innings. That's what I love to see from a pitcher that I want to back. And in his last 5 starts, he has a combined 4 walks over his last 5 starts. So you really love to see that. He's really demonstrating a strong command over his pitches, and I love to back a pitcher who's able to keep his control, keep his composure out there. Now, while Tanner Houck on the other side for the Red Sox has not been too bad, he's been a solid pitcher for them. He has had some moments this year where the opposing offense has been able to get to him. In his last start, he went 4 innings. He gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 home run, which was ultimately a 6-4 loss to the Rangers. But the biggest point of concern for me with Tanner Houck is his lack of control. So I just spoke about Eflin's tremendous control and how I love that for him. Houck has not been as consistent. He had 4 walks in that start against the Rangers over 4 innings, so that's like a walk per inning. He had 3 walks in this previous start before that against the Yankees, and then 2 walks in his start before that against the Orioles. And you guys know the Orioles are not a big walking team. They're kind of in the bottom half of the league in terms of walks per game. So you can't give this Rays team any free bases. You know, if you give them any free bases and you got a guy like Eflin on the other side, you're setting yourself up for a rough night, for a lot of extra pitches, and you know this Rays team has the ability to score runs in bunches. And I just don't like the fact that Houck has not been that strong at home. He's got an ERA over 5 at Fenway Park this year. So again, this is just one of those spots that even the Rays have secured a playoff spot already. I think the Rays can jump out to a quick lead in this one. So I'm going to isolate us to the first 5, take the Rays on the first 5 money line. And another thing that I love to see, the Rays are also 5-0 on the money line in Eflin's last 5 starts, and 8 of his last 10 on the money line, they've won those games. So that's just another little trend or angle that I like. And if you want to take the full game money line on the Rays, I'm not opposed to that. But I'm just going to isolate this to the 2 starting pitchers and go with the better one, Zach Eflin, who's been in the better form, for my second best bet of the day. Now for my third and final best bet of the day, I'm going to go with a player prop that's cashed in for us several times already this year, and it cashed in for us last week actually. And I'm going Kevin Gausman over 7.5 strikeouts minus 115 on BetMGM. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This has been a line that's been consistent for us. Kevin Gausman has been absolutely killer this year with this strikeout pitch like he always has. We cashed in on this one last week in this same exact matchup between the Yankees and the Jays. Kevin Gausman against the Yankees, and then we got Michael King going for the Jays. Michael King actually had 13 strikeouts in that matchup. His line for strikeouts right now is 5.5, so if you want to sprinkle some on that, you might want to do that. The Jays are not the biggest strikeout friendly team, so you do want to keep that in mind, but I do like the fact that Michael King has been in good form. We've got a low total at 7 in this matchup as well, so we're kind of expecting this one to kind of be low scoring. I'm going to go with Kevin Gausman, even though 7.5 is a little bit higher, but he's just been a lot more consistent, and I just know what Gausman is going to give us. In 3 starts against the Yankees this year, he's had 10 or more strikeouts in each one of those games, so maybe you want to sprinkle someone like the ladder, the 8, the 9, the 10, and it's hard to face the same lineup twice in the same week. You guys know that, but the Jays have something to play for right now. The Yankees don't. The Yankees were eliminated from playoff contention. The only thing the Yankees are really fighting for is to keep that over 500 streak that they've historically been able to keep up for the last like 20, 30 years, but in terms of them getting to the playoffs, they're mathematically eliminated. But the Jays, on the other hand, they find themselves in the second wild card spot right now, and they're 1.5 games ahead of Houston for that last wild card spot. But if you guys have been paying attention right now, the Houston, the Mariners, and the Rangers, those are 3 teams right there in that AL West or the AL South area that has the ability to sneak into the playoffs. All 3 of those teams can still get in if the Jays don't focus up and if they drop a few games down the stretch. So they have to make sure that they don't take their foot off the pedal here, and Kevin Gausman is the guy, their ace, who's going to help them maintain their focus or at least try to get that win today. I think his strikeout pitches are going to be a big factor in this matchup today against the Yankees. The Yankees are 4th in strikeouts per game over the last 30 days. They're averaging over 10 strikeouts, so you hate to see that. Yesterday, Merrill Kelly for the D-backs had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings, and he's not a strikeout pitcher. He has nowhere near the type of stuff that Kevin Gausman does, and Gausman is also 4 strikeouts ahead of Pablo Lopez for the Twins for the strikeout crown in the AL. So it's not like really a big award in terms of leading the American League or leading your league in strikeouts, but it's still an incentive nonetheless, right? People want to win that crown. It's like winning the scoring title in basketball, right? Or it's like winning the assist title, the rebound title, whatever. It's like you're so close, you might as well go get that win, or you might as well go make it happen. So I think Gausman should be able to have his strikeout stuff today against a Yankees lineup that's been fading out over the last month or so. So give me Kevin Gausman over 7.5 strikeouts as my third and final best bet of the day. That's it for me today, my friends. 3 bets, 3 winners that are headed your way here in the MLB. Like I said, move cautiously. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe play a few innings. There's a lot of games that have been going under lately. Or maybe just don't take any bets at all. There's no need to force it. We've only got a week or so left in the MLB regular season. Wait for the postseason, because I promise you there's going to be a ton of opportunities to make money in the postseason in Major League Baseball. I love betting playoff baseball, so you definitely want to be tapped in for that. And then also we have some WNBA action as well, so if you want to get some WNBA action in there, or there's also some tennis action. There's also some other sports going on, or you could just wait until Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again for the football slate. So it's really up to you, but make sure you're managing your bankroll, make sure you're picking your spots accordingly, and don't over leverage, don't force anything. There's no need to bet every day. There's no need to waste money. Our goal here is to make money, and if that means you take the day off, that means you take the day off. Or if that means you size down on your units, that means you size down on your units. All right, guys? I just want to give you guys that little tip right there, because I know what it's like to bet this stuff day after day, season after season, year after year, and especially right now, there's a lot of people who lose money at the end of seasons because it's not your normal handicapping. You're not dealing with the normal players. The incentives are different. The scenarios are different. So because of that, you have to keep in your mind when you're handicapping these games. So these are a few angles that I like in today's matchups. If you want to take a look at some of the other picks and plays I might drop, click the link in the bio to join my free Telegram group. But as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we'll come back with a 3-0 day, and we can keep that momentum going. All right, my friends, let's make some cheddar today. Dictate your fate, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, y'all.